Well, that was Secretary of Homeland Security John Kelly cranking up the crackdown on illegal immigration. With a whopping 11 million illegals living in America right now, the Trump administration is focusing on getting out the, quote, criminal element and focusing on the bad guys. And nowadays, well, perhaps that includes a single DUI. Here to discuss, Lili, Valletta, Paul Babeu, and Jillian Melchior. We're going to go to the former sheriff.
Yes.
Look good in that tie, man. I don't think I've ever seen you in a tie, suit and tie like that. You know, a lot has been made over, you know, who will be rounded up. And now it feels like we're getting some clarity on that. And some people are worried. Is a single DUI enough if someone had otherwise been living in this country since coming here illegally to kick them out of the country?
Right. Now, Charles, we have a law and order president. For the past 8 years, what we've seen is a complete disregard not only for the rule of law, but an open invitation to the millions and millions of yet-to-be illegals to come on up, make it to the border, and you're home free. And that's literally what was going on. We've had 500,000 illegals who were backlogged in the immigration courts waiting for their deportation hearings. And now the good news is Attorney General Sessions is hiring 125 additional immigration judges, has issued orders to his U.S. attorneys to elevate and prioritize the prosecution of the dangerous criminal illegals, those who are aggravated circumstances for reentry. And the president has issued a whole series of executive orders to secure the border, to enforce the law, end catch and release, and to build the Great Wall. So all these things are happening. This is great news, not just for all of us in law enforcement, but to the American citizen, that the law is going to be enforced again and the border is going to be secured.
Lili, President Trump ran as a law and order candidate. These are laws that have been violated. We, to a large degree, have had something akin to an open invitation. So how do you feel about this?
Well, I would like to challenge him on the fact that he's also a Make America Great and America First president. And as that is happening, I want to see what's being done to keep the brightest and the best in this country. We have lots of limitations with H-1B visas, with students like myself. But
are you conflicting those two things, though?
Well, here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Almost 50% of undocumented immigrants today came to the country legally. And that is a symptom of something greater that also needs to be fixed in parallel. I think I agree, like everyone else, that we need to get the criminals out. That is just common sense. But also,
are you okay with a DUI starting the process?
That is a criminal.
Right.
My problem is that, okay, if we're emphasizing all of that in parallel, what's happening to the other side of the promise of keeping the brightest and the best in this country and figuring it out for many other undocumented immigrants that came legally because there was no process to get adjusted in this status? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you on this. I think another big part of it that we need to look at is with some of the rhetoric that Trump has had and its economic effects already in Mexico. We're seeing a destabilized peso. I think part of the solution here is creating a Mexico that is economically stable. And unfortunately, many of Trump's policies won't do that.
How much is that the responsibility of the United States, though?
I think it's something that's mutually beneficial. And if we're looking at this as an immigration issue, but also just as an economic issue.
What about the illegals that are coming from Guatemala and Nicaragua and those places, though?
Well, I mean, obviously that's part of it. I think Mexico has been particularly singled out. But then getting back to the criminal thing, okay. So we don't want people here who are going to be a risk to American citizens. But then you saw 5,000 people without criminal records being arrested under Trump. The one that makes me saddest, out of Cincinnati, Maribel Trujillo Diaz. She's a mom, 41 years old, 3 American kids. One of them is a disabled 3-year-old. She's their primary breadwinner. She's going to be deported Wednesday. It's not good for her family, but it's not good for the American taxpayer either to send her back.
Sheriff, what do you say about those kind of cases that we're going to hear about over and over again? Certainly, they sound very heartbreaking, but is this the line that must be drawn to make sure that we don't ever have to go through this in the future?
It is. Let's reset this conversation, because already the United States has 1 million legal immigrants. So what's the limit to our generosity? Because by far we outpace any nation in the entire world of accepting legal immigrants, 1 million each and every year. So 40% of these almost 14 million illegals who are here have overstayed their visa. This is the law. And so we already accept the best and brightest. We're all for that. But we as a sovereign nation have a right to determine who is here,
no
how
one's
long they
arguing
can
whether
stay.
or not no one's arguing whether or not there's a right, but I do think you can have a law that's deeply flawed and that encourages people to be here illegally. I think the solution to that is not condemning them; it's to be smarter about our policy and smarter about our law.
Well, I mean, I think we see a dramatic drop-off already in people who are coming here illegally.
Yes.
So
70%.
70%. So perhaps the message is out there, and one way or another, maybe this will be an issue that we won't have to grapple with in the future. Guys, thank you all very, very much.